Hi guys, Elmarie here from Worcester, Western Cape, South Africa. I am recording from my physical shop, if you want to call it that. It is I think it's the 10th of May on Thursday. And I am recording this podcast on a Thursday instead of on a Monday, which is when I'm actually supposed to be recording it. But hey, life happens and stuff went a bit haywire. And as long as it's once a week as I promised, it's still once a week. Okay, so where can you find me online? Oh no, wait, let's rewind that. Thank you to all returning viewers and welcome to all new viewers. I hope you like my podcast. Podcast is mainly about my hand-dyed yarns, knitting, crocheting, spinning once in a blue moon, although I haven't been spinning a lot, and sewing. I usually have a bit more order when I am doing my podcast, but today is not one of those days. It's a bit of a crazy day. So, admin-wise, where you will find me on social media is A Cup of Yarn on Instagram, A Cup of Yarn on Facebook. You will also find my online shop as A Cup of Yarn and my website. All of them are linked down below in the description box. And on Ravelry, I am Ella73, and there's a Ravelry group. I created a Ravelry group called My Yarn Runners Over. And while I'm on the subject of my yarn runners over, I'll just run over to that detail as well. There is I'm running a mull on Make Along on that group at the moment. It is running from until the 9th of June, which just so happens to be my birthday, and it will be going on until the 9th of June. The theme behind the entire make along is natural fibers only, so that's the only set rule. The one beneath that is please use yarn from your own country or your own area. The closest to you, the better. I'm not saying thou shalt not use any other yarn, but it would be great if your yarn comes from your own country instead of being imported from somewhere else, especially from China or Turkey. So unless you live in China and Turkey, great, use your own yarn. But yeah, that will be it. At long last, I have prizes to show you that will be a part of the make along. There will be a draw on the 9th of June. Maybe I'll do it on the 10th. I think I'll do it on the 10th of June. Everybody can still put in the finished objects before the 10th of June. And then, from my side, one of the prizes will be this drawstring bag. This will be excellent for any of your smaller projects, like, well, I think actually more than socks, although socks will work. Anything else will work that's small. I think you might even get something like a, what happened? Sorry. Like a smallish sweater or something in here. I don't know. Anyway, drawstring bag with a bottom that actually sits, and it's just plain white inside. I decided to make it white because, well, I had white. So yeah, that will be what it will look like on the inside. So that's your drawstring bag. I also have these two skeins of yarn. They're my colors. That will be as part of the prizes. you see. And then there will also be one set of addy needles. These are 2.5 millimeters, 150 centimeters. And I have to tell you now, it is with a very, very sad heart that I'm actually giving them away. And then I also have a set of 2.75 millimeter double pointers. Just trying to, it's Addy Premium, but I'm trying to remember what the Calibri is the name of these. See? Okay, so these are the prizes that will be given from me to the person that wins. So far, come on, I think I've got 2 people on there. I will have to go double check, but I haven't gotten any more notifications that there are more people in there. So come on guys, it's fun and you can win a prize. And the more the merrier. I have a whip that I'm going to put up there. But before I go there, let's talk about knitting. So the last time I put up my a podcast, I said I wanted to do a sweater, and I had this wonderful idea of a sweater because I thought I would be completely able to do it. That would have been the ranunculus sweater. I bought the pattern. It's a beautiful pattern, nothing wrong with the pattern. Unfortunately, it is still way above my skill level since I have never done a sweater in my life. So instead I got this pattern, which is, I think I showed it to you guys, I'm not sure, it's KFI Atacama yarn. But yeah, this is what it looks like on this side. It's a free Ravelry pattern. I'll put the link down below. I don't have the main page with me now, but anyway, it's a t-shirt sweater. It's just a very plain, simple, make 4 separate panels and sew them together type sweater. And I am actually getting to the point of, this is the front piece so far, and it's nice because you actually have some shaping here. I'll tell you the yarn, I'm using my own hand dyed yarn, and I had some scraps left of Beatrix yarns that I did the top part, just this part with, but now I don't have enough of this gradiated one anymore. So the back won't have it in it. Anyway. So that's my husband talking to the cat. Yeah. So this is what the front part looks like. And then the back part, I am here now where I need to start with the armhole shaping. Not quite there, I still have a bit to go. In the midst of this wonderful knitting bit, I had a bit of a disaster because I'm working on Knit Pro needles. It's what I had available. And the cable, see there, it's interchangeable, and here on the cable it kept on slipping out, just pulling out the cable from the head of the cable. It just kept on coming out. So last night we super glued it on, and now my only hiccup is that some of the glue came on here and it's stuck. So yeah, anyway, it's one of the little things about knitting. It's not such a big deal. I've got this much left of this yarn, Then I've got this much left of this yarn. Needless to say, I did dye up some more. It's dry now. I just have to cake it up or whatever, roll it down on my, yeah, I do have to do that. Anyway, another whip. Oh, by the way, we're onto whips now. I have no FOs to show. 0 FOs. Do not have an FO in sight. Another FO I started. Well, I started 2 more. The one is actually on this, the Jessica Jones Wardrobe Basics cowl. This one. This is also a board pattern, so I can't show you anything more than this. I'll put the description down, link down in the description box. And well, yeah, this is how far I've come with it. Sorry. I will be using color spun, the 2 color spun yarns that I bought when we were in Joburg. I'll be using these 2 colors for this. And it's her DK base, although this isn't quite, it's a very light DK. It's not the same as this one. Mine is quite a bit thicker. This is just a light DK really. But it's fine for what I want to use it for. It's great actually. The reason why I'm only there is this cable is too long. So I'm going to have to find a shorter cable and transfer it to the shorter cable, because this one is worked in the round. I'm guessing I can just take a much longer cable and do it in magic loop. But I don't think I want to mess with it now. I think for the first time at least, I want to follow the pattern and just keep to the pattern. Ooh, I'll tell you about the other one I bought. I couldn't resist it. Just couldn't resist it. And then we were in Robertson the other day, and there's this sweet little place called Ficus Framing. She does framing, but she also has like just a shop with really very nice stuff in it. It's very nice. It's like a gift shop type thing. And she has a baby blanket there, and I asked her, well, can't I knit some for the shop? And she said yes. So I took cotton from my own shop, stole from my own shop, sorry, but yeah, that happens. And I've just got this purple now, and I've got a lighter purple as well. And I'm just going to start doing it. I thought, well, baby blankets. I took this pattern also of Ravelry. I'll put the link down below. Can't remember the pattern now. It's a very simple bias baby blanket pattern. I think the only really nice thing is going to be the color change. So I'll have 3 gradients of this purple, a lighter one, and then just I've got a very, very light purple that I can use. This is Moya, and I don't have the labels with me. It's terrible, really, really terrible. Anyway, I also have color spun that I bought actually for myself for the color spun cottons. I think I did show this last time, but I'll show it again. This is one of the cottons that I got from color spun. This one as well, and this one. There's another darker one. Oh yeah, I started just doing just a block on it. I was bored. Started crocheting a block, granny square, on it. But now that I've got this idea, I'm thinking of using it for this. You know, whatever. I think at the end of the day, if you are on the business side of anything, and I mean I am on the business side of yarn dyeing, then you will do whatever you need to do to get in the extra money for that. Okay, I'll show you quickly how simplistic this. Oh, and I'm working with my Chiago needles. 3.25, I think. Anyway, it's like knit 3, yarn over, and knit to the end, and then you knit 3 again, yarn over, knit to the end. That is how extremely difficult this pattern is. Having said that, there was a time it would have sounded very difficult to me. Anyway, now for my other very naughty purchase today. Okay, it cost me 65 Rand. That is a Caitlin Hunter pattern. She's on Ravelry as designer. Her designer name on Ravelry is Boyland Knits, which makes, I have to say, the first time I saw it made sense to me immediately, although apparently to many people it does not. But I have 3 men in my life. I've got 2 boys and 1 husband, so I understood that immediately. She lives in Oregon, I think, somewhere in America, and she does a lot of color work stuff, which I love. So I bought a pattern for a color work cowl, which I will start as soon as I'm done with that. I will not start it until I am done with that. Sock wise, I'm a bit stuck. I saw on one of the other podcasts that I watch, what's it called? Not Boston, it's the other part of Brooklyn Knit Folk. She has a pattern for a sock that she says is also a free pattern. And I'm going to go look for that pattern. And I'm going to just try and do something different than the normal thing that I have been doing, just to get my head back into sock knitting. I've got a sock cast on, but I don't think I'm going to finish it. But I'm bored with it. I'm bored. And that's never a good thing. But I do need some more socks. I'm also thinking of navigating more towards this type of weight sock instead of normal sock weight. This is very close to sock weight though. Very, very close to my sock weight, the one that I have. So I'm going to try. I've got one other skein that's completely a different color. Hank, maybe you want to call it. I've got one different one that's like almost a coral color that I'm thinking of using for a pair of socks. And I will try that particular pattern and see how that goes. Okay. So you're just looking out to see what's going on. Yeah, that's all I have to say about knitting. As far as sewing is concerned, I do have to sew up some more bags. I really do. I also have come to the conclusion that I do have to have stuffing in bags if I take them to a market. I'm thinking of doing a market in June. The first Saturday of June. I'm actually thinking about doing that now. I just want to have more finished objects in the process. So my aunt did actually say she would do things, make things for me with my yarn. So I will probably take some yarn there and just ask her to make a couple of stuff. You know, simple things like beanies and just gloves and that sort of thing. And then I'll try and I got a knitting machine, or you know, one of those old ones. I have one of them, but I can't figure it out how to just set it up and how to use it. I've never used something like that before, so I'm still going to get my husband to do that for me. My poor husband. He said the other day, apparently he has to know absolutely everything. And, well, unfortunately he does. Know most things. Well, anyway, there are very, very few things that he does not know, and the few things that he does not know, he figures out. So, I'm really blessed with that. But still, it's a bit hard on him. Anyway, so that's what I've got in mind. I've got a new order that I have to dye up now. I'm busy rolling down yarn, and for that order, which is a pre-order for dye, and then I only have a little bit of double knit left that I will be dyeing up into colors, and that will come into the shop as soon as it is finished, which I'm hoping will be somewhere at the end of next week. That should be, I should have an update then, but follow me on Instagram and you will see if there is a shop update. I've seen that most people have a specific day and a date for a shop update. At the moment, my business isn't on that level yet. I can't really do that yet, since I get in my yarn and I dye it, and as I dye it, I put it onto the shop. But I usually don't buy in new yarn to dye with until I have finished the last lot and I've got enough money in to buy the next lot. So at the moment, yeah, shop updates happen when they happen. Not a lot I can do about that. I do, however, by the way, for those of you who don't know and who haven't seen it on Instagram or on Facebook, I am running a sale on all sock weight and single ply yarns until next week, Wednesday. That will end at the end of the day on Wednesday. So yeah, check that out if you want to buy yarn. That is the place to go. Since, by the way, there will be price increases from. It's not going to be a huge increase. It's going to be a R5 increase. So, but our prices have increased. They have put a price increase on our wholesale yarn. So, unfortunately, I was hoping it will be so little that I don't have to put an increase on my price at all. But sadly, that's just the way it goes. Anyway, what am I wearing today? Well, I was wearing a cowl, really. And I was sitting in my little stoep room in there, my stoepkamertjie, and it just got too hot to have it around my neck. It's still not hot enough to take this cashmere jersey off. I bought this in Italy when all our stuff got stolen. And so now we're moving on to just normal chatty things. So I bought this one there. And this is cashmere and I think merino, and then there's some other synthetic thing in it. But anyway, cashmere and merino is the most, so that's okay. And the weather is typical autumn. You know, it's actually gets really kind of cool in the mornings and in the evenings, which means I'm starting to layer. I've got like a vesty thingy on here. I've got another t-shirt and I've got this on, but I still have short sleeves. So, and then it gets like to 26 degrees Celsius during the day. It was the maximum today, which is fine. It's actually a nice temperature. It's not too hot, not too cold, and then it just drops again. Starts cold, goes up to there, drops. Once again, not complaining about winter, not complaining about rain. We so need it, really, really need it. I think I'm gonna hit anybody with a pen if they start moaning about the cold or the rain. People are so strange that way. They are so strange that way. You know, everybody starts praying for rain and asking God for rain, and then it starts raining and then they start complaining. It sounds like Israel in the desert, you know. We just escaped from Egypt and then you don't get everything you want and you start complaining about it. Anyway, that's the whole different story. So yeah, that's it. Oh, the only other thing I can tell you what my week was like that was really bad and is not quite sorted out yet is I got, well, I suppose very close to an abscess or something right here in my jaw, which is, by the way, why I'm only doing this video now. That was the part of life happens. I was going to do it earlier this week and I just couldn't get the swelling away. Well, it is fine now, but if I press there I can definitely still feel it. But at least I'm not looking like a hamster who had all its food stuck on one side of its cheek, which is what I looked like. I promise you, it looked like my husband was beating me. And he doesn't. He really, really doesn't. And I mean, he's had more than enough reason to do so because I can be a pain in the butt. But he doesn't. He doesn't even swear at me. So no. Got a very good husband. Anyway, that is what was happening in my life since last week. It wasn't even this week. It was since last week. And it just didn't quite clear up. And as I say, I can still feel it. This too shall pass. And no, I don't go to a dentist or a doctor unless there's some real severe crisis happening. They don't see me. It gets too expensive and we don't have medical aid. And this is South Africa. We don't classify under the government and as a government patient. So it will have to be paid out of my pocket, which I'm not going to do. Unless I have such a huge crisis that I don't have any other choice. That's South Africa for you. And I'm sure that there are other countries where things get a bit weirder. But I have to tell you, you know how people always say, only in America? Only in South Africa, I'm telling you. There's something here that will just kind of surprise anybody who's not in South Africa. But whatever, I still have my country. So yeah, that I think will be it for today. I have been trying to figure out how to get myself to a point where I can actually up my podcast to an hour, because at the moment I'm just like sort of sticking everything in, and I have a feeling it's about the amount of subscribers I have. So please subscribe, and if you want to see the podcast weekly, there's a little bell there at the top that you can just click and it will give you a notification. But yeah, the more subscribers I have, the more towards professional podcasting I can go. So just subscribe please, and thank you. I hope you guys have an awesome week further. Yeah, and a wonderful weekend. I will see you again next week, hopefully Monday, if all goes well. And please just follow me on Instagram. You will see much more information there, and on Facebook than you get on Instagram at the moment. So on Instagram, oh my word, blonde. YouTube at the moment. I just want to again remind you guys, you see these blonde little stripes? They are there for a reason. I have those blonde moments that's unexplainable. I can't explain them, they're just there. So please excuse them. So yeah, on YouTube you will see half an hour's content that I have to squeeze into this little box. On Instagram and Facebook you will see a lot more details. If you want to see my actual products, go onto my shop, onto my my website and my shop. Okay, I will see you guys again. Bye.